heard a voice as if it came out of heaven. And they cast their eyes round about, for they understood not the voice which they heard. And it was not a harsh voice, neither was it a loud voice. Nevertheless, and notwithstanding it being a small voice, it did pierce them, that they did hear to the center, insomuch that there was no part in their frame that it did not cause to quake. Yea, it did pierce them to the very soul, and did cause their hearts to burn.
And it came to pass that again they heard the voice, and they understood it not.
You want to go ahead and read that one?
And again the third time they did hear the voice, and did open their ears to hear it, and their eyes were towards the sound thereof, and they did look steadfastly towards heaven, from whence the sound came.
And behold, the third time they did understand the voice which they heard, and it said unto them,
Behold my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased, in whom I have glorified my name, hear ye him.
And it came to pass, as they understood, they cast their eyes up again towards heaven. And behold, they saw a man descending out of heaven, and he was clothed in a white robe, and he came down and stood in the midst of them. And the eyes of the whole multitude were turned upon him, and they durst not open their mouths, even one to another, and wist not what it meant, for they thought it was an angel that had appeared unto them.
Okay. So, in verses 3 through 6, it's kind of talking about, can relate it to the Spirit.
Are they saying that Christ visited America before he died?
After
He died.
When he went into the pit.
So,
When he was in the cave, they're
Oh.
saying he came here.
so when Jesus Christ died, he was in the tomb for 3 days. He was resurrected, and he visited his apostles here. Apostles not here in Jerusalem, right? After he was resurrected,
Right.
and then from there he ascended into heaven. After he ascended,
And he took everybody out of Abraham's bosom after he was resurrected.
yeah. And then so Christ was resurrected, right? And because of, I think what you're saying, right? Because of him, that means we all get that gift, right? Is that what you're meaning? I'm not sure I follow you there when you say that. That he took everyone out of Abraham's bosom.
Yeah. Before he died in the old covenant, everybody that died went into Abraham's bosom, who was okay, I've said enough.
He could have. Well, I was doing this number, and he got a video of me earlier.
So,
It's okay, Mom.
so we learned about where is it?
I'm doing this more for them than I am you.
You're doing it for
Somewhere
you.
where he goes in the spirit world. The first one.
Oh, First
What is
Peter.
it?
So in 1 Peter 3.
4
4?
and 3, I think.
So we learn in the Bible that while Christ was dead, he freed.
I was
Over there.
3, 19,
The New
4.
Testament's right before the Book of Mormon.
First Peter.
Yep.
This is a whole
Peter.
3:19.
First Peter. What are you looking for?
Chapter 3, verse 19. It's my favorite district.
What's it? The pressure on.
Okay, go ahead and when you get there, if you'll read that one.
Alright.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
want
yeah.
me to read it?
Yeah.
By which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison, which sometimes were disobedient, when once the long suffering of God waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was a preparing, wherein few, that is 8 souls, were saved by water.
So, going back up to verse 19, he went and he preached unto the spirits in prison. This is talking about the time when Jesus Christ was, those 3 days when he was dead. He taught those that were in prison. One of the lessons we teach called the plan of salvation, and it talks about that after we die, we go to this place, almost a waiting period.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's what you mean with Abraham's bosom, right? It's kind of a waiting place for these people for the resurrection.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that I'm just trying to clarify there. So yeah, exactly. As after he died, he went and he preached unto these spirits that were in prison, as we call it, Abraham's bosom, helped preach the gospel unto them, and then he was resurrected, came and saw his apostles, ascended to heaven, and then in the Americas, he came and visited them. And that's what we're reading about here in 3rd Nephi.
After he went to heaven and...
Yeah, so he went to heaven, ascended with his, and then he went over and, I guess, descended, I guess you could say, and came back and preached unto them as a resurrected being.